So pretty much watching a movie or show, and if you hear a piece of music, you tune out. You just want to enjoy the show, and or sometimes you're like, oh, I like this piece.
That's hard because
that's really hard.
It's what we do is put music to image. And so it is a little bit hard to divorce ourselves from that aspect of things and get totally immersed. But we know it's a good score if we do get totally immersed.
Nerd reactor, roll out.
Let's get you guys in Comic-Con. We talked about that, where you've done panels before.
Yeah,
we've done some panels.
But with Comic-Con, huge events, any type of Comic-Con, you haven't done any, right?
No,
we have not done the Comic-Con thing. Yeah, I mean, a lot of our friends who work on the show are the director, Andrea Romano. She's a big star, I think, at Comic-Con, and
and certainly the performers.
Tom Ruger,
producer,
creator
of the first version
of Animaniacs, and Rob, Tress, Jess, Maurice, Paul Rudd. I think they've all done Comic-Con.
So they're regulars, and then they did invite you.
They could
both. Come.
Maybe we'll have to start writing some.
Well, John's going to write a lot of letters for us.
Right,
that's John's promise.
Yeah. I'll be writing a letter, and I'll be, hey, the Bernsteins need to be invited to Comic-Con so that they can just be there. Like, hey, we're the composers for Animaniacs.
Yeah.
I mean, we love the show. We love writing on the show. We love talking about it. So
just people who are fond of the show are just great to talk to. I mean, they bring stuff up that we don't even remember, but they're very attentive, and it's just great. We would love to talk.
And so it's kind of like a blast from the past when they bring these up. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
Animaniacs. It's been 22 years since the last time. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And with the 22 years, has it been bottling up your excitement, or did you put it to the side working on other projects and then it pops up and you're like, oh yes, let's do this?
Well, it's from the day that it stopped. Every time we bumped into any of the people that worked on it, any of our musicians from the orchestra, somebody would say, when are we going to do this again? When are we going to do this again? So it never left us. We always looked forward to it.
It was such a great experience that we hoped at some point to grab a part of it back again. And, we did do projects in those 22 years that kept us busy. But
and we worked on Baby Looney Tunes, which was still in the spirit of, but it's a little different. But
different demographics.
But we always hoped for this, and it's amazing that it's actually happened. It is a dream come true.
Did you have any input on bringing it back to life? Like, hey, I think you guys should just do this now. Well, hurry up.
I think that our good friends Rob Paulson and Randy Rogel had a lot to do with keeping the spirit alive, because they went around the country performing. They were performing songs Randy had written in the show. And so they did a performance, and then they even hired us to come because they wanted to expand it to an orchestra. So Steve and I actually toured a little bit with them and an orchestra so that these songs could be heard by an orchestra.
Their main show was Randy on the piano and Rob performing, and Randy performing.
Yeah.
But
and
on a couple times.
And they brought in the Tress and Jess as well.
But on a couple occasions, we actually had a full orchestra.
Wow.
We did a show
arrangements and orchestrations.
We did a show in Denver, and we did a show in Kentucky. I think it's Lexington. Was that right outside of Cincinnati, on the other side of the river?
That might have been that or not.
I
We've
don't
done
know.
a few other things. Anyway, but the point is that they probably helped some of that, keeping it alive. Although I think it kept alive on its own merit as well, because the fans.
Well, it was available.
The people that watched the show initially and loved it, continued to love it. And then they had kids and showed their kids, and their kids loved it. And now their kids are starting to have their own kids and showing. I think that when something this good happens, and it really was across the board just so great, it keeps itself alive because it's beloved.
Yeah, and we had fans, and now we have grand fans.
Grand fans. That's a new. I never heard that before. Grand fans.
And great grand fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the tour thing sounds amazing, especially for Animaniacs. Is this would this be the only show, or have you done other touring for other shows?
Touring?
We did it. Well, except for we were involved in a show that was. Well, we've done a couple orchestral shows that were educational and orchestral, utilizing music that we've written from a few different shows and cartoons. So we've done a little bit of that. We were involved in a really wonderful experience in a couple different states. So yeah, but that's another letter. You feel free to write the letter. We will tour not only within this country. Of course, we're going to wait until the vaccine, the whole thing. But when travel is safe again, we will go all over the United States and the world. We're happy to tour Europe, anywhere. So,
have baton will travel.
Yeah. I mean, there literally are, and this is something we're interested in. There are orchestras all over the world that haven't played as much this type of music. Because, it's special writing music for animation, and specifically this show. And there are orchestras, I think, that would love to play this in other parts of the world. So we're happy to.
So how would you describe that if the other orchestra are like, hey, be a part of this? This is Animaniacs. This is something special. It's cartoony. It's zany.
Right.
You haven't done that before.
We say we're Hollywood musicians and emphasize the word Hollywood about 14 times.
But I think the actual music is a little bit of everything.
There's classical influences. It's classical,
and it's folk music, and it's jazz, and it's funny, and it's pop, and it's all kinds of music.
I think it's entertaining. It would be great to perform to picture.
Yeah,
live
because
to picture is great.
The cartoons themselves, that's what the music goes with. It's all of a piece. And so the orchestras, and that's a very exciting thing for an orchestra to be able to play with the picture.
What we've done in the past, one of these other concerts, is that we would show the cartoon, the image, without any music. And it would play, and you'd kind of sit and watch, and okay, that's fun. And then the orchestra would perform live to the picture.
And we would explain some of why we decided to write something in a particular place.
It got a great response. People love that kind of, so we'd love to do that.
Do you ever get goosebumps like performing live with the orchestra?
Oh yeah, and even recording for our sessions for the show, it's
remote recording.
Goosebump inducing. It really is. I mean, and the music is hot off the press. I mean, some of it was just written days before. And when we're doing the live sessions, the baton goes down and this music comes at us, and it's an amazing experience. It is goosebumpy.
And even remotely, to hear the musicians' tracks, which are really phenomenal. The players are phenomenal. And so to hear what we wrote coming back at us by a live musician, and believe me, some of it is very difficult because we know that they can do it. And so we write even faster and more notes because they can do it. And then they do whatever we write. So it's
it's thrilling. It really is.
It is goosebump inducing.
So there is no limit then. You're like, they can do it. Let's just go with the craziest notes and all that.
It sort of feels like there is no limit, although, we try to be kind.
There are physical limits, and we try, if the tempo is fast enough, we won't write 4 notes to a beat, we'll write 3 notes to a beat.
Right. We're trying not to. We don't want to hurt them, and we also want them to still like us.
But I think that they enjoy the challenge. We've talked to a number of musicians who say, yes, it's challenging, but we love it.
They talked about sitting on the end of their seat, when we would see them in the live, and maybe they do this at home too. Sitting on the edge of their seat, just sitting up straight, all ready to go, because you have to concentrate.
You have to be on it.
when you record live in the studios, it's different than a classical or any kind of concert, orchestral concert where there are rehearsals. These musicians are coming into the studios. They don't know what's going to be put in front of them. They've never seen it before. And
Oh wow.
the music opens and the baton goes up and it's now, and they start playing what they're seeing. They can sight read so well. It's really phenomenal.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
right.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So
we will often, we'll have a rehearsal, maybe a rehearsal and a half with some of these pieces.
no,
and
on the spot.
on the
Just
spot.
run through.
And run through,
We'll
exactly.
run through it
And
once.
then we'll record it, and
Yeah.
and there it is. So it's thrilling that we have such amazing players to work with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of goosebumps, on the first episode, hearing the score from John Williams,
Yeah.
with the Jurassic Park reference, that was amazing. What was that like? Just being able to capture that.
It was amazing. I mean, it had to be adapted from his score to our more diminutive orchestra.
We have an orchestra that is at least 1/3 the size of
Well,
his.
we had 40, and
At
I'm sure.
most 1/3 the size.
Yeah, no, and he had, I'm sure, well over 100. And it still works because the music is so amazing. And the timing of the music, I think, was so close to the original. And I actually saw online somebody had the actual footage from Jurassic Park, and they put it side by side with the Animaniacs footage.
How fun.
And it was like frame by frame. It was perfect. So, and to hear Williams' music with this, it was what a great opportunity that was.
Yeah. And then
Oh yeah.
go from the John Williams all of a sudden to the Animaniacs music. Really, really fun. Really great idea.
Yeah. If John Williams shows up during the live sessions and to help
It would
conduct.
be great, and then we can remind him that we met him once before. He won't
Yeah.
he won't know us, but we you know what, we should carry a picture of him with us always, because we were commissioned to write a little piece in honor of somebody, and John Williams and a number of very famous composers and conductors were in the audience honoring this person for whom we wrote the music. And so John Williams has heard
Wow.
a piece of our music that has nothing to do with cartoons. He may have also heard
wow.
cartoons, but he has heard a piece of music. So, and we took a picture with him so we can show him.
As
Although,
have, I think, most of the musicians in Los Angeles.
but we could have just photoshopped him in, so he
Yeah.
doesn't even have.
Yeah, you could do that too. But
Yeah.
He's very charming. So it was a great moment for us.
I guess speaking of excitement, season 2 Animaniacs, or the next season after this, you will be working on that.
Where in a few
Yeah.
weeks we're starting.
Very soon.
It's in process, because there's the script writing and the animating and the recording of the actors, and there are many things that come before we get to our part. So we're resting up a bit so that we can dive back in.
And when you rest, you're not thinking about melodies and notes and all that, right?
No.
You're just
No, see, I have this philosophy, and I hope it's right. I feel like if I completely go somewhere else, like let's say watch TV, something that has nothing to do with what I'm doing, I have this feeling that my brain is refreshing and thinking about what it's going to have to do, so that when I get back, I'll be able to do it. I'm right about that the brain really does rest.
I think so.
While I'm doing something else.
Yeah, no, I think that we do need that
The balance.
break, the balance. And then we'll get ready to dive back in, and then we'll talk after a couple of months, and we'll see how it's going.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Well, I just really hope that that's
I think
a reality, that
yeah.
your brain, I mean, I know that the brain does need to rest.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I'm doing something and I haven't even looked at any music, and I haven't touched the piano, and I haven't done anything, I then think, wow, I haven't done that. But I'm sure I'm resting, but the brain is rewiring. I'm sure that something's happening in there, even though I'm not conscious of it. That's my theory, and
We can go with that.
I hope that is right.
So pretty much watching a movie or show, and if you hear a piece of music, you tune out. You just want to enjoy the show, and or sometimes you're like, oh, I like this piece.
It's hard because
that's really hard.
it's what we do is put music to image. And so it is a little bit hard to divorce ourselves from that aspect of things and get totally immersed. But we know it's a good score if we do get totally immersed, because we're not paying attention to the music, we're being affected by it.
If we're swept into something and forget completely about, actually that's the same with the filmmaking, because we're very aware of all aspects of filmmaking, whether it's live or animation. So it's great when it's the highest quality, then we're not thinking about any of the making of it.
Yeah.
We're just enjoying the
total
experience.
experience.
Yeah. And that's the best.
All these different types of projects. Is there like a certain genre that you would like to do that you haven't done yet?
Yes.
Sure.
I would love to do a big emotional drama, whether it be a historical, period piece, or just something with real meat, with some music that will last in the same attitude for more than 4 bars.
I mean, or a page.
However,
I mean, we've one of the wonderful things about writing for animation is that we get to write all different styles. Not the downfall, but the thing is that we start to get to amp up and writing a particular style. It could even be the dramatic one that Steve just mentioned, but then it's not going to last the whole time, because the nature of the cartoon is that different things happen.
It leads to a joke or something.
It leads to something, a change. And so you might write a page, 4 bars, 8 bars, even 16, 32 bars, but you write a certain amount, but it's not a full piece. So
it'd be great to write.
That would be nice to write
4 or 5 minutes of some emotional event, and that would be amazing. I mean, we've both written concert music. We've written for more serious projects, but that kind of thing would be amazing to me.
And I personally would like to write more. I have I've done string quartet arrangements for some singers, jazz, and I would like to do more of that. I love writing for the full orchestra, but I also enjoy writing the small ensemble. Mm-hmm. So I would love to write some more chamber music.
Sweet. So jazz and then more of the drama piece.
Yeah.
Drama and jazz. There are actually shows, drama, jazz on Netflix. I forgot the name of the show, but there's one with Chadwick Boseman. But I'll petition that for you too. I'll do another letter.
Hey, wow, John.
We'll have to start paying you commission.
You have a lot of homework. We've given you a lot of homework. Yeah.
Lots of homework. Yeah.
No, we appreciate
it. But yeah.
Just writing music for both of us, I'm sure, is just whatever it is, we enjoy it. And so when we're asked to even do anything involving music, sort of music is our life in a bit. There are other things too, but anything within the realm of music is just a joy.
It's in our blood, and what we feel we're meant to be doing. So it's always nice to be able to do it.